Hello and welcome back to the Taylor Seminars where we talk about how Taylor Swift turns life into poetry. My name is Hannah and I'm here with my beautiful co-host Exquisite. Hello.
Hi, Hannah.
Oh my gosh, we are in for a treat everybody. We are here to talk about track 19 of the Midnight's, I guess 3 a.m. edition. Would've, could've, should've.
Yeah, I was excited. And I low-key just want to get into that title first. So, Hannah, what does would have, could have, should have mean when
Um
you say
yeah.
that in
What
conversation?
when I see that, it's like it's this kind of idea of like regret. Like I could have done something else. I should have done something else. I missed the first one. I would have, like, if I had known, I would have done this. Right? It's this idea
Mhm.
of questions being raised in your mind because you don't like the outcome it is now, and you maybe could have changed
Mhm.
something.
Yeah. And I've also heard it said, not flippantly. I'm like struggling to think of the word I want to use, but when you hear someone like you're in a conversation with someone and someone's complaining of like, oh, I would have done that, and you're like, well, would have, could have, should have.
Yep.
Like you
Yep.
didn't.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely very commonly used, but it's very serious here.
It's like, too bad. This is what it is now. Yeah.
So I mean, I think immediately when this started playing in everyone's ears at 3 a.m. or whatever time it was, where you were, everyone knew this was the song, like the it girl. There's definitely like
Mhm.
talk of, well, why didn't she put it on the standard album? It's so good, and I think she did it on purpose, which is that if it was on the standard album, this is the only song everyone would talk about, and you wouldn't get the
Mhm.
13 midnight songs. I think she did this on purpose, especially as we'll go into. It's a very personal, angry song about her being extremely vulnerable, and um, yeah, we'll get into that. But it was, I mean, what did you feel when you first heard it?
I first heard it and I said, of course, this couldn't be on the main album because it would be all anyone would talk about. It was all anyone would talk about when it came out 2 hours later. However, oh my goodness, I just had like a hiccup. However, there is just so much encapsulated in this. And would have, could have, should have to me is the key piece, low key, to understanding the mental headspace she went into to write Midnights, and how Midnights is like the key of she was doing all this re-recording and she was like, oh, there are things I thought I was over that maybe I wasn't over. There are relationships I didn't actually understand why they fell apart that I understand why now. And I'm currently in a situation where I am confused or not understanding maybe my own feelings. So let me write it out to work it out. And what if, could have, should have is that. And I'd also like to say we know exactly when would have, could have, should have is written, which is a boon to have. Aaron Dessner let us know that they wrote it right after they were all together at the 2021 Grammys when Folklore won.
Correct.
Um, so they wrote it all together that night because they were all in the same place. And I think that it's one and very important to know that because we know she was 32. She was 32 and we all were subject to watching um a certain man perform on stage that night at the Grammys.
Right. I think it's.
Uh
I think that was the one, the Grammys, where they pre-recorded some and some were live. But
mhm,
in any case, yes, there were performances, and one featured a guitarist playing.
yeah, that we were all forced to watch. And we know she had just freshly re-recorded Speak Now because she told us when she did Speak Now TV, she was 32.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she, process of re-recording Speak Now, she had to watch this man on stage performing at the Grammys. And then she went home with Aaron and Jack and was like, but it was Aaron who produced this and was like, all right, time to write a song because
Yeah.
I'm feeling things.
Yeah. I think Taylor does this thing where she really captures the moment of an emotion strong, so strongly, in such a strong way. And I think she does that here. Like, it's this moment, this midnight, I guess you could say, where she suddenly realizes the pain that has lingered inside her, where she feels like she's literally like in a tomb and screaming to be let out and screaming to have her life back. And it was absolutely powerful. And knowing that, yeah, she was somehow the universe always bends to her will, and all these things hurricaning around this, the eye of the storm, and this song just pops out. So thank God for Aaron Dester.
Yeah. And also, I just like to say, before we even get started to what it could have should have, I feel like Taylor at 19, she says in Dear John, don't you think 19's too young to be played? But also in Dear John, she like kind of she tries to take her own power back, and she's like, I took your matches before fire could catch me, so don't look now. Versus would have, could have, should have, which we're gonna get into, where she's like, oh, fire did catch and it burned, and I have those scars
Mm-hmm.
that I have to deal with.
Yeah, and we're gonna see.
That maybe I thought.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of death imagery and a lot of pain, and also a lot of religious imagery as she tries to grapple with
Yes.
the consequences. So yeah, so we'll dive in now. I'll start with verse 1. If you would have blinked, then I would
Okay.
have looked away at the first glance. If you tasted poison, you could have spit me out at the first chance. And if I was paint, did it spatter on a promising grown man? And if it was a child, did it matter if you got to wash your hands? Oh, all
Oh,
I used to
cry.
do was pray, would have, could have, should have, if you'd never looked my way.
I'm about to cry. Oh my goodness.
I mean,
There's just some. Oh, go Hannah.
yeah,
Let
I
me.
mean, we
Let me.
start immediately with this, the would have, right? If you would have,
Mhm.
you could have. There's this, again, regret immediately just seeping in, right? Where she's like, there were so many ways for this to not happen. Like, you were a grown man, I was a
Mhm.
child, right? She literally says, um, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And my favorite part is that should have is never in any of the verses because she is like, I was not the responsible party here.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been you. In Dear John, she's like, you should have known. That's the only like should have we have in
You should
connecting
have
those two.
known.
Exactly. But yeah, I love the if you would have blinked because what that means is she's like, wait, I was allowed to have crushes on older people. I was a teenager, right? But you should have blinked. And if you had blinked at me and realized I was staring, like we were staring at each other, if you would have blinked and looked away, then I would have looked away
Yeah,
because
because it was just a silly little
I
crush.
would not say. He was inviting her in when he kept looking.
Yeah. I will say, as a girl who was Taylor's age in high school at the same time Taylor was, John Mayer was like someone we all had a crush on. He was a boy with the guitar who sang about his feelings, and Room for Squares was on, like, I had the CD, and the next one I don't remember, it's like Harmonium or something. I don't know, but like so yeah, like I am not surprised. And she's like, he's a guitarist, I'm a guitarist, he's a songwriter, I'm a songwriter, like we're meant to be together. Like that's literally the dream of
Yeah,
every young girl, right? But yeah,
exactly.
if you had just been like, oh, you're like too young, like it's nice to meet you, but like you're a fan, or you know she's still famous, but you know what I mean, like we're just professional,
Mhm.
like it would have been over and it would have been fine, right? You would have been like, I don't know, something else, and then
She would
if
have looked away.
yeah, she would have looked away. And if you saw me and didn't think that I was good enough, like you tasted poison, you should have just pushed me aside. You could have been even mean about it, right? Like that would have been better
Exactly.
than what you did.
Oh, and that whole the section of the first verse that gets me, and I always come back to it, was if I was some paint did it splatter, specifically on promising grown man, because the phrase is promising young man or promising young woman. And here she's like, you were old, you were grown, you knew better.
Yeah.
You were a promising grown man, but the in the juxtaposition between grown man and child, and the fact that she says, even if I painted splatter on you, did it even matter at all? Because you washed it away. Like, did it matter what you did to me if you there were no consequences? And low key, I suffered all the consequences from it because you just got to wash your hands of me. Like,
It's so sad.
ah,
And it's like if you're playing with the kid, you're going to get splattered and it's supposed to be fun and easy, and
that,
you are mad and you just washed your hands and you just left. Like ugh. And yeah, washing your hands, like it's to be like innocent of, like for example Pontius Pilate, when he was convicting Jesus in the Bible, he like washed his hands. It's like, it's all on you, crowd, it's I didn't do it, right? That's kind of this
mhm.
idea, like yeah, he got to be like, oh well, you are a child, but you just got to wash your hands. Like it like didn't
That
impact you. It didn't like
it didn't matter that I was.
it's
It just mattered that you got away with it.
crazy. And and then we so that's actually the first religious reference we get is
Yep.
like you get to wash your hands, and then the next one is all I used to do was pray, right? Pray for
Mhm.
what? Maybe
Would
pray,
have, could have.
yeah, maybe pray that, I think there's two, like, well, we'll get into, well, it kind of goes into the chorus. Do you want to read the chorus?
Yes. I would have stayed on my knees, and I damn sure never would have danced with the devil at 19. And the God's honest truth is that the pain was heaven. And now that I'm grown, I'm scared of ghosts. Memories feel like weapons. And now that I know, I wish you left me wondering.
Uh, uh,
Ugh, ugh.
yeah, because, so going back to the pre chorus, all I used to do was pray, right?
Mhm.
And then like we kind of have that would have, could have, should have, and then if you had never looked my way, I would have kept praying. I would have still been a good girl who wasn't dancing with the devil, who wasn't, basically like had her like girlhood like violated or ruined, right? She and and staying on your knees is like a picture of penitence, of like
Mhm.
holiness, right? You're on your knees praying to a deity, a god, and the symbol of innocence and purity. I think I said purity already, but yeah, and I love the juxtaposition, like staying on your knees praying versus getting up to dance with the devil, right? Like the
Mhm.
clear contrast. And the
Yep.
at 19 line was the one that made everyone freak out because I think you weren't quite sure what she was talking about in the first
Mhm.
chorus, pre chorus, but then, like you said earlier, in Dear John, she references, Don't you think 19 was too young? And here she says, At 19.
Mhm.
So,
And then she lets us know, like, immediately, she's like, the God's honest truth, like, keeping in line with this whole, like, biblical imagery. And, like, um, she is like, it felt good when it was happening. Like, the fact that he was hurting me felt good. It was heaven.
yep,
But I was young, and now I'm a grown woman, and I'm terrified.
yep, yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Now that yeah, the pain was heaven. And back then, like even this tumultuous, relationship, she liked it, right? Like,
Mm.
but now looking back, oh my gosh, no, it haunts me. It's like trauma. I'm scared of
Exactly.
ghosts. Memories feel like weapons. Like it's like, when you have such a cringe memory, you still want to curl up and die or like jump off something when you're so embarrassed or something is so horrifying. And yeah, it's when these memories come back, when I see your face, when I hear about you, like I feel like I'm getting cut all over again, or shot again. And now that I know, I wish you'd left me wondering. And I love that you'd, because it's like a subtle
Yep.
you should have left me wondering. You know what I mean? Like why didn't
Left
you?
me alone. And it is especially like this whole, like, the chorus and the pre-chorus as well, the all I used to do was pray, if you'd never looked my way, I wish you'd left me wondering. It keeps doing this thing where she's like, wait a minute, like, I'm older now and I'm feeling this effects, but I'm also aware enough to know it wasn't my fault. Like, there's so much power in this
Yeah.
to me. She's like, I was a child, I was 19, and yes, I thought it was cool that I was with someone older, and that even though it hurt, like, I thought it was cool. I was like ignoring, the lip gloss smiles and what is ours and ours, where she's like, everyone's telling me to run away and I'm ignoring that. But that's what teenagers do. They're allowed to do that. As the older person, especially if you're 32 years old, you're
Much
grown.
older
I
person.
Taylor, it took Taylor what? How many years to be as old as he was when he dated her? Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, like, you're grown as hell. You should have left her alone. And I love that Taylor can recognize that. Like, it was your job to leave me alone. It was your job to leave me wondering what could have been. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's that could have, right? Like, I should have never known what it was like to date you if you had left me alone. If you had looked away when I was staring at you,
Yeah.
right? If you had blinked. I would never approached you if you had blinked. You invited me in, and You should have known better to invite me in. The only thing she should be singing is like, "Oh, I wonder what could have happened if we had dated." Like that's all the Speak Now songs about John Mayer should have been, right? Like the wondering of what it would have been like, the imagining.
Yeah, almost like
Um,
basically like Enchanted. Enchanted was a song she wrote because she like had like a spark of inspiration at that party where she saw the Fireflies guy, right? And that could have been it. It could have been like a song like that.
exactly. It should have never gone beyond that. And the should have and the onus is on the grown person. And this is for like all of our young listeners. That grown man or grown woman needs to get away from you.
Yeah, I think
That grown person
we really
get
have
away
to
from you.
impress that idea of the growth from I should have known to
Hmm.
in Dear John, which sounds, like it does put the responsibility in a sense on her, but in here it's like no, 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 no. You should have you should have known.
Yeah, you should have left me wondering. You should have
Yeah.
left me wondering. And that's, I think, one of the things that it is a boon for us to have Taylor who writes her own music and who is so reflective and who re-recorded Speak Now to be like, oh, I need to deal with this.
Yeah.
It's such a boon. It's such a boon. And she keeps going. Verse 2, Hannah.
If you'd never touched me, I would have gone along with the righteous. If I never blushed, then they never could have whispered about this. And if you never saved me from boredom, I could have gone on as I was. But Lord, you made me feel important, and then you tried to erase us. Ooh, you're a crisis of my faith. Would've, could've, should've, if I'd only played it safe.
Oh, okay. There's so much here.
So
There's
much.
so much here. And it's all like she keeps re-emphasizing. She's like, if you never touched me, then I still would have been like a good girl. I still would have been like praying. I still would have
Had
had
a
all of
normal
these
childhood ish.
exactly. And then she's like, then she kind of gets in on herself, but not really. She's like, if I never blushed, right? Everyone around us wouldn't have noticed how much I liked you,
Yeah.
right? They wouldn't have
But I feel like
whispered that.
to me, I
But
still I still say like he I still see it in this order of he touched her, therefore she blushed. Right? Like
exactly.
she wouldn't have blushed if you hadn't been messing around with her.
Exactly. If you hadn't stared at her, touched her, you caused her to blush and giggle, and then that's when all the rumors, like that she wrote ours about, where they're like, "He's a bad man, Taylor, run." But she's like, "Oh, they're whispering about it. I'm not bored anymore. This is exciting. This is cool. I've never had something as exciting as this before."
Yeah.
Right? Because
And
I think she was coming off like the Joe Jonas drama.
yeah, and also like boredom is good for you, okay? Just everyone like get off your phones except to listen to our podcast and go be a little bored. I saw a tweet or something being like this reminds them of the quote like if you idle hands are the devil's playground, right? Like I think it also plays kind of into that idea of like yeah, when you're bored is when you're tempted, right? Like Jesus being tempted in the desert. So yeah, there's a lot of this going on too.
And she explains how he saved her from that boredom because he made her feel important.
Yep.
And I think that's also the key to like a sense of air of like grown people who prey on teenagers and young people. They make them feel like they're older than they are, and they
Yep.
make them feel like, they're like, oh, no one else thinks your opinion matters because you're so young. I think your opinion matters.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
I
it's
want
like a form of grooming.
yeah. They're like, I want you to talk to me. I understand you the way no one else does. Like they make you feel so like big and grown and like like teenagers deal with that where they're like, no one wants to listen to me because I'm a teenager, and then they're like, oh, I do. And then the thing that really messes with her is like, you made me feel like I was the most important person ever, and then you erased us. You
Yep.
tried to erase like it never happened, and like I was the crazy one.
Yeah, now I'm
um
standing alone in a crowded room and we're not speaking and I'm dying to know, is it killing you like it's killing me? Yeah.
exactly. Like you just tried to pretend nothing ever happened, and that's what a way to mess with the little girl's head, a young girl's head, like
Yeah.
especially someone who's trying to blossom into adulthood. Like that crux of 17, 18, 19 when you're transitioning into becoming an adult is so important,
Mhm.
and it's so like fragile and delicate, and well,
Yeah.
yeah, you're a crisis of my faith.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a line. So yeah, having a crisis of your faith is you had a belief system and something comes along and tests it, right? This can be like a death, a traumatic event. This could be I don't know, some usually one of the two, and you made my entire worldview shift. Like you made it crack. It's like an Inside Out. You know, they have like the islands of their personality, and one of them just like gets knocked out, right? Like you've ruined a part of myself, and I don't know who I am anymore.
Hmm. And yeah, she's like, and isn't clear. Like, obviously, we're playing with this religious imagery, right? But the crisis of her faith could also have been like in the people around her to like keep her safe, in herself of like being able to pick out dangerous men and dangerous people. Like there's nothing there. Like exactly like you said, it completely just wrecked her sense of self and
Yeah.
her sense of like I know what I'm doing. It just wrecked it. And ugh, if I'd only played it safe.
Okay, hold on. I was like, I know there's. I was like, that reminded me in the song Hours. Your hands are tough, but they are where mine belong, and I'll fight their doubt and give you faith with this song for you.
Exactly. Or it
Ah,
might like if we go to Superman, which everyone ignores, but I love Superman, and she's like, she thought this man like hung the moon. She like, oh my gosh, Superman, she sings like, I'll be right here on the ground when you come back down. She's
yes.
like, you got things to do, but guess what? I'm here and um I love you and I love you forever. Um
She said, I love you from the very first day. Like, girl, get up.
Exactly. And then she says to Superman, he's complicated and irrational, but I want you to take me away and save the day.
Yeah, yeah,
And she's like, has so much belief. She's like, he's not all bad, like his reputation, and I can't hear a single word they say. Because even when you leave, like you'll come back, I'll be waiting for you on the ground. Like you have to imagine this young girl who's so starry-eyed by like her idol, who
yeah,
she looked up to, wanted
yeah,
to be like just like him as a guitarist. And she had such faith in him. She's like, I don't care about everything else. Just for him to take advantage of that. Because that's what it was. He took advantage of it and completely bulldozed over everything she thought she knew. And to have that happen to you when you are 19 years old,
yeah,
and I think part of why in Dear John she's like, you didn't burn me at all, and then actually I'm okay, is because he did make her feel so important at 19 that she thought, I'm just over it. I am healed and it's never going to affect me again,
yeah,
type thing. Because he didn't have that perspective you get when you grow up and you're like, oh
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
In Dear John, she. I mean, the way that she describes herself is, "Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? Like, I don't right to be messed with versus the violence we're gonna see in this. We're seeing in this song is such a different. Is such a deeper level, right? Where she's really had to excavate her feelings and how the consequences of this relationship. So, right?
Mhm.
Because in Dear John, it's like, oh, I lived in your chess game. You change the rules every day. Like, these are problems and difficult problems, but we're gonna see a lot of screaming in the rest of this song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she also calls it like blind optimism in Dear John.
Right. And
Um,
I mean, she does blame him a little. Maybe it's you and your sick need to give love and take it away, and you'll add my name to your long list of traitors who don't understand. Right? Like, she has
yeah,
somewhat of a clear-eyed view looking back, but here she's like, I got LASIK. It's 2020.
yeah.
um, okay, so the chorus happens again, but it is time, I think, for the
Yes.
bridge.
And I get to do it. Thank you, Hannah. Oh my God, this bridge. God rest my soul. I miss who I used to be. The tomb won't close. Stained glass windows in my mind. I regret you all the time. I can't let this go. I fight with you in my sleep. The wound won't close. I keep on waiting for a sign. I regret you all the time. And then this part, she just starts building. If clarity's in death, then why won't this die? Years of tearing down our banners, you and I, living for the thrill of hitting you where it hurts. Give me back my girlhood. It was mine first.
Damn.
Damn, I got chills just reading that. And I'm about to get so upset because it's like, damn, damn. We just need to start at we got to start at the first line. of God rest my soul. She's like, you killed me. And the thing about this is in Dare John, she goes, all the girls that you run dry have tired, lifeless eyes because you burned them out. And she says, that didn't happen to me. And here she's like, actually,
I'm also dead.
I'm dead. And I'm praying that God rests my soul
And it's
because I
like,
used to
I think
like,
the rest of my soul is crazy because it's like, give me peace. Like when we say rest in peace, it's like we're asking for their spirit to be like, not have to haunt or, linger. It's like go to heaven, go to the afterlife, like move on, right? But here it's like, God, please rest my soul because it is so angry and agitated. I am haunting. I can go anywhere I want, just not home, right? Like she is, yeah, haunting the place up so bad.
she's haunted. She's haunted. And then he goes,
Oh,
I
she's haunted.
miss
Oh my
who I
God,
used,
yes.
which is also a song on Speak Now. But yeah, the I miss who I used to be. And that used to be is like that wide, optimistic, trusting
Yeah, the
person.
girl on her knees just praying.
Like that trusted, like she could that trusted in higher power, maybe like trusted her parents, trusted in the person who would like love her and take care of her. She's not that anymore
Nope.
because the tomb won't close, stained glass windows in my mind. It, and the best part about that, the line stained glass windows, Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
is that she's like the tomb won't close because instead of like a big like rock in front of it, it's a stained glass window. And if you've ever seen stained glass windows, they're beautiful because they have colors. And when the light comes in, it's all filtered through that color. So for her, she's like, everything is filtered by this experience now in my head. Everything that I see, no matter if someone's like trying to shine good light at me, it's going to be filtered by the experience I had with you.
Yes, I love
Ah,
I love that. Yeah, for me it
it's
just
not closed.
yeah, for me it's also just like stained glass windows also gives me it's very religious imagery where um which we talked about for the whole song, but also that um she kind of wants to go back to these moments where in the church where or the church in her mind where like things were better, where things could be made whole again, which is crazy because stained glass is made of like broken glass pieces. Not, obviously they're filled to this pattern, but yeah, they're beautiful, but they're also made of like these little pieces that are cut and put together. But it is crazy. And again, a lot of churches, I don't know why I said again, but a lot of churches actually have like mausoleums or tombs underneath. And so she's like buried in a church. Her ghost is seeing these stained glass windows. You could even say like stain, as in like they've been stained, by this event. The way like a wine stained dress she sung about before. And it's this beautiful imagery, but it's filled with death and darkness and sin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then also the um what is important to me in that section is the fact that I think we alluded to it when we did our The Great War episode, but this is all like connected to the Great War and why she's like that. She's like, um, maybe it's passed on screaming from a crypt, begging me to punish you for things you never did. Like she's like that past in that crypt. She's like, would have, could have, should have is in there. It's stuck in that crypt and making me crazy and making me act this way. And I can't stop it. And then she goes, I regret you all this time. I can't let this go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's She thought she could. She thought she was flying like fireworks over his sad, empty town, but it turns out she's back on that earth, and he's pulled her down, and she's weighted by the heaviness of this event and this relationship, and it's like you said, it's impacting her future ones, right? Like maybe the fights that I've been having, screaming from the crypt, spineless in my tomb of silence, are because of the fights that I had back then and the fights I still have now. Like I fight with you in my sleep, not I
Right.
fought
You're
with
coming up
you.
with
Yeah, it's a
all the
present
time.
tense. Yeah. In fact, the wound won't close. And if you know anything about medicine, if a wound doesn't close, it will get infected. You might
And
have to get amputated. It's going to be pussing and disgusting and gross. And it means that maybe you're picking at it, or it hasn't been sealed properly. And so it's just fresh and festering and gross.
hmm and it is just the I keep on waiting for something. This Taylor is she's in present tense, And everything now is like she's like, this is not past tense anymore, right? This is like you said, everything is happening to me right now. I'm have a festering wound and I'm waiting for a sign that this is all coming to an end. And there's no signs. I'm still suffering. And I regret you all the time because I'm still suffering,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we get into that if clarity is in death. She's like, I have clarity on this. I know what this situation did to me, but
It's not going away.
it's not dying.
Yeah, because right, we know she's dead. God rest my soul, right? Like, and I see this so clearly now, but and yet it's still haunting me. And I think the
Mhm.
crazy, like when she says, I keep on waiting for a sign, and then the line, years of tearing down our banners, you and I. She wants signs that this is over, but instead I keep finding more banners of you and me that I keep have to tear down.
That
Which is crazy. Like imagine if you think you've just cleaned your whole house. Like, it's like when you clean all your dishes and you're like so excited and then you walk into your bedroom and then there's like four glasses and you're like, well, that sucks.
mm,
But it happens forever for 13 years, you know?
forever. I keep going back over this,
Yeah.
and I thought I was done, and I put it away, and then I opened my closet, and it's there
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like a labubu that
God,
keeps haunting you.
exactly. How much more must I die?
Yeah.
Like that clarity in death to me reminds me of like, people who work in what are they called? Hospice care. They're like right before someone dies, they typically get so much like they can remember so much and they're so lucid and they're so like aware of everything. And that's how like they're getting their like last good moments before they pass away. And she's
Mm,
like living in this constant last good moment or like this constant last bit of awareness.
yeah.
And she's like, but I can't, it won't let me go. It won't let me just go past it. I'm stuck.
Yep.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
So,
And because I'm stuck there, I'm living for this thrill. Like it won't let me die, so now I have to live only so you can hurt.
yeah, I think it's like she's dead, right? But now we have this contrast. I'm living, but I'm not living to thrive. I'm not living to just be myself and forget you. It's I have to live for this purpose of retribution, hitting you where it hurts, right? Of
Oh,
which was such a great line already. I was like bopping along to this song, living for the hitting you where it hurts, and then this line, give me back my girlhood, it was mine first, was a gut punch. She did it. Like she set it up
that
and then
time
she's like, I'm gonna hit you where it hurts.
he hit
Boom.
us. And then it was also like there's something so childish in the way she sings it, like in her vocal tone. It's like she went back in time while climbing up the last bit of this verse, and then she
Yeah.
goes like stomping her feet. It was mine. It was mine first.
Yeah.
I had it. It belonged to me. And have you ever seen little kids fight? Especially like like toddlers or young kids and they're fighting over their toys. They're like, that was mine. It was mine first. Or they'll come and complain to you. They're like, he took my toy. um Here she's like, he took my girlhood. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
mine.
No, it's
And
like I love that. It's like it reminds me of like how Alef, our beautiful, wonderful art artist who did all of our designs and he does wonderful
Mhm.
art. It reminds me I picture like the Speak Now Taylor and the Speak Now Taylor both on like a white horse like charging to like stab or chase this man, right? And they're both doing it. Like you have adult Taylor bringing along child Taylor and they're doing it together. Like that's it's so powerful. Like it's both of them screaming that line. Ugh, chills.
The most upsetting thing is to know she's never going to be able to get it back. That's the thing. Like, she's never going to get back what she lost because it has happened.
Hmm.
And now she can only try to figure out beyond it. But there is such power in acknowledging that it was taken from you
Yeah.
and that it was yours, right? That it was like, oh my goodness, wait, I was a child at 19. I wasn't grown.
Yeah.
And it makes me like 19-year-old Taylor, 19 Speak Now and Red Taylor did not know how young she was. But for all of us, we look back at those times and we're like, that's a baby. Like
Hmm.
I look at old Taylor and Speak Now to a Red Tour and I'm like, that's a child. I look at her in 1989 and I'm like, that's a child.
Yeah.
She looks so young. And it just makes me even angrier. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a baby. And I feel like Taylor, because she has to like, she had to reckon with like all of her like past images, all of like the her music when all that was stolen, she looked back and she's like looking at it while re-recording it, and she's like, "Oh, I was a child. That's a baby singing this.
Yeah.
I was a child. I should have been allowed to have a girlhood." And part of being a girl and having girlhood is like fantasizing about like a superhero who will love you, or
Oh
fantasizing
yeah.
about like people. Like that was fine and it was fine. But it is not right, and it's not allowed when that older person you're fantasizing comes and takes it. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'll give you what you wanted. No, you should have left me wondering.
Yeah.
You should have left me alone.
And I will say, listening to Speak Now, the original version, now that she's reclaimed all her versions, and just hearing the youth in her voice, like hearing Dear John and Last Kiss and Haunted with her, what, 20-year-old vocals,
Uh-huh.
right? Something like that, 2021. And then, you know, hearing this back to back is insane. And
Yeah.
I it's a testament to how much she's healed and grown just to be able to go back to a song like Dear John and re-record it, and then to realize the pain that you're still going through and releasing that in this song. I do wonder that if her singing this song and singing it multiple times during the Eras tour really did help her, not necessarily to reclaim her girlhood, the original girlhood, but to reclaim herself in a way. I think it must have been so cathartic to just sing it. And I know it was for so many women and men, right, who might have felt like they were preyed upon.
To sing that as a concert and just sing it out loud and just yell it
Yeah.
is, it almost has the like same release of singing Smallest Man Who Ever Lived,
Yeah.
and getting to sing that part, you deserve prison but you won't get time, right? And being in the stadium and everyone screaming that out, it was like, oh yes, exactly. No, wait, I can acknowledge that something bad happened to me, and I'm allowed to say it, and I'm allowed to want retribution, right? um and it is so, it's so interesting to me because Taylor's saying would have, could have, should have before TTPD came out. um she sang it when she was like doing her mashups to like give us some ideas of what TTPD was going to sound like. And I can't remember what she mashed it up with, and
The
I'm sure
first
Hannah.
time, what I'm looking it up right now. We literally have one brain cell. She performed it first with Aaron Dessner during in Nashville, but just the song, and then she
Yep.
performed it twice overseas. So once with Ivy in Sydney, and then
Hmm.
once was with I Know Places in Edinburgh. So with Ivy was February of
Yep.
2024, and then
2024.
um, I Know Places in Edinburgh on June 7th, 2024.
Ivy specifically mixed with would have, could have, should have is such a big brain mixture, right?
Yeah, I
Because
remember that.
Ivy, yeah, Ivy is like, this person is coming in and you want them to come in and they're growing all over you, right? Like they're growing on you like ivy. And you might die, but like you're into it, right? Versus woulda, coulda, shoulda is like, oh, I did die, but you're still all over me. You're
Yep.
still on me, and I can't let it go. I'm regretting you, and I want this all to go away because you took something from me, you hurt me. And that is such an interesting theme that is all over TTPD. And it is also in like with TTPD, it's like to me, she became, it was like Midnight's was her becoming aware that things hadn't healed. And I know I always said this.
Yep.
And TTPD was her like actively working to heal it. And so Midnight, she's like, okay, I'm still suffering from being 19 years old and this happening to me, to TTPD, where she's like, okay, I'm suffering, but I can move past this. And
Mm,
this is how I'm dealing with it. And I'm seeing shades. We get to see the shades of the woulda, coulda, shoulda been the Dear John relationship in TTPD's mixed muses, right?
yeah.
Also the shades of like what immediately happened after, which the with the all too well relationship in TTPD's music. And she's like, oh, these two things happening to me. And I'd like to remind everyone, the crazy part about this is it happened to her back to back. She went Dare John all too well,
Yep.
back to back.
Yep.
And she literally sings in the manuscript how that affected her. She was drink coffee because she wanted to be so grown, and then she could only eat kid cereal and be and go to bed with her mom,
Yep.
like with her mom. Like that's how like deep and hurtful it was. Um, yeah, and so it's like And in singing the song, she just starts like when she gets to the outro and she just starts repeating like
Yeah.
"God rest my soul, I regret you all the time," and she's so angry and so exhausted, and it just goes up and up and up and up and up up. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's it's insane. I mean, I think that I do think as we like wrap this up, I do think that we do have to mention that she does in Dear John go from I should have known to the very end, right? You should have known, right? And it's crazy that you should have known kind of gives that I think emotional maturity actually to Dear John because it shows that like wait, like you should have known. And then she takes that and she just expands on it in
Exactly.
as she's finally approached the age that he was when he first dated her was is just incredible. And just to see how she can I mean if you didn't know, Dear John was a song that Taylor never performed again after Speak Now, right? Like it she's someone asked her I think and she basically said like it's too painful. And I think someone asked her on a rep tour, like one of the meet and greets, that it was too painful. I don't think she, and so I think her actually performing it on the Eras Tour stage was a kind of a shock to people. And I think she performed it after Speak Now TV was either announced or released. But in any
I think
case,
it was it was something because she performed Air John the same day. She goes, I don't care what somebody did to me
oh
when I
yeah,
was 19.
yeah,
But I also like I have thoughts about this only because I remember her saying when she released Dear John, she said, I had an ex, or it was in the red era when she said this, because she was talking about how with All Too Well, the person that was about like emailed her and was like, this is such a beautiful song, blah, 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 blah. Versus when she had released Dear John and the Speak Now songs, that person started to hound her and like harass her
mm-hmm.
basically. And I remember her saying this. Um, and so to me, when she got up on stage before singing Dear John and being like, I don't care what somebody said to me about Dear John, it was low key like what someone did to me when I was 19. It was low key her being like, hey, don't do the scarf thing with this crazy man.
Yes, yes, I remember that. So I just looked it up. So she hadn't performed it in like 11 years. Dear Johns, because if you didn't know, she also kind of did surprise songs for Reputation, and she would kind of bring back old songs. Um, but yeah, there was that was pretty crazy. So I do think that through re-recording Speak Now TV and through doing Woulda Coulda Shoulda and the whole re-recording process in general, I think a lot of these songs she has been able to reclaim them, and we know through songs like The Manuscript that she's been working on stuff with the professor. Write What You Know. She knows what the agony has been for. The story's not mine anymore. Like she might look through the pages, but I do think I hope and I do think she's really found peace with herself and her story and how far she's come.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
Ugh,
I'm
I
so
love her. And
parasocial.
I am, this song especially makes me parasocial because I get filled with such anger. And then it's also like, I mean, Hannah, you were a 19-year-old girl. I was a 19-year-old girl at
Oh
one
yeah.
point. It's like, no, yeah, wait a minute. Like I imagine how many people listened to this song and went, I was 19 and they should have left me alone. Um, and that is, I think, just so powerful. And it's so Taylor has a song for everything.
Yeah.
And it's like if Taylor went through it, I went through it, and she is better on the other side. And she's also giving permission to still be angry and hurt. You can be healed about it and still be angry. Um, and be like, that should not have happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just so much. It's just so good. It's just so good. And it is so like, oh, this is why it's on the 3 a.m. tracks. This is, and it also makes sense just for the fact that she's like, this wakes me up later at night. It doesn't keep me up. It woke me up, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think
Like
she wanted it to be
when I
track 19.
uh-huh. Like,
Like
yeah, that
she's an album artist, we'll listen to it. It could be track 19 or 29 or 39. We'll listen to it, but she was like 19. And I think it jolted us awake, right? If you were sleeping
yeah.
at 3 a.m., if you were tired and then you heard this song, you were wired.
I literally got a bolt of energy. I was like, what did she just say to me? What did she say? What is happening here? And I got so mad. Oh my goodness. I was saying things that would get me banned. I can't say the things I was thinking on this podcast.
Oh my
No,
god.
I was thinking them. I at run. He should run. Like oh my goodness. Are you insane? She was a child. She was a child. That's what it
Yeah.
She was a child. And it
Yeah.
didn't matter to him that he was a child because he got to wash his hands of it.
Yep.
I think people oh, I can't say what I wanted to say.
Okay. Okay. So pause there. Why don't you think of an emoji for today? Let's channel that energy into something that's more appropriate for our audience. Um, uh, let's see.
Loki, we should do a pointing emoji or like a hand, a
Oh, like,
praying emoji or something with the hands.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Let's see, like a point, like the U.
Yeah, because all of the onus is on him. I shouldn't have done anything. I was allowed to look.
Okay,
That's fine.
if
I
you,
was allowed to blood. That's
I
fine.
don't even know what to type to find the point. Point.
I typically type point.
But then I get one oh I see it. Ooh, that is very intimidating. Point. It's like
It's
you.
a very
That's
point.
what
It's literally
happened.
point.
You. Different muse, but you know it's same
Yeah,
concept.
yeah.
We're gonna be very intimidated by our audience this week, but that's okay. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We are so excited to be coming up near the end of this album. I think we just have Dear Reader left, which will be coming out very soon. Thank you for your patience with this episode. If you were one of the people who listens as soon as it drops, we had some scheduling conflicts, but we were like we got to get this out this weekend, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be
You're so
out.
back.
Yeah, we are so back, and we will see you guys very soon with the last track of Midnights. Bye.
Gary. Bye.